Today, on Important News Monday, we have Jagmeet Singh, second greatest Canadian in history. We have a woman being manhandled by police in downtown Montreal. The Liberals are caught cheating during the election. Was it done on purpose? And Pierre answers questions. Today, on Niagara due North. Good afternoon, folks. I'm glad you could make it here today. I'm your host, Parmesan. Now, I have long touted on how great the NDP is. Just check this link right here. But I had no clue that Jagmeet Singh was so incredible until I saw this clip from CBC last night, folks.
Well, I think he's been a very, very effective leader. As a matter of fact, I think he will stand out as one of the great leaders in NDP history, that's for sure, because he is
electorally or just in the policy side of things?
I'm talking about the things that we've been able to accomplish, like dental care and pharmacare and what he did during the pandemic. I think he has been a really remarkable leader in that way. And, you know, we care about electoral results, obviously, but Tommy Douglas never achieved great electoral results, and yet he was voted as the greatest Canadian.
Next for you, moving along really quickly, more seriously now, a woman, an independent journalist, covering a pro-Hamas rally in downtown Montreal, was brutally handled by the police there. I have this from the Pleb. Montreal police brutally arrest an independent journalist for reporting on the Palestine protests. The police completely mishandled this poor woman. Our country is in such a mess. And I agree with them, guys. Watch this video. And after the break, the Liberals caught cheating in the election. Did they do it on purpose? We'll see after the break. Right. There's no breaks here. So, the Liberals caught cheating in the election with the pins, guys. Well, let's pull these up for us. Dang, CBC News, guys. CBC News. The reason why I use mainstream media is to prove. If you're hearing it from these guys, it must be true. Okay? My thing is, I'm going to show you just a little bit of Carney's answer. Mark Carney crept out of the woodwork today to come and answer some questions. It was nothing new. So, except a major crackdown on guns. So, everybody's heard about the Stop the Steal pins. The Liberal campaign office came up with that. Okay? It was a top-down matter. It wasn't a rebel. Mark Carney had this to say.
Good morning. Kate McKenna from the CBC.
Hi.
Members of the Liberal War Room, so the Central Campaign, distributed Stop the Steal buttons at a Conservative event. Given the anti-democratic implications of this phrase, how much does this event undermine the trust in the way that the Liberals operate, and what have you done in response to these revelations?
Thanks for the question. Look, this is totally unacceptable, to be absolutely clear. And I, on behalf of my campaign, I was unaware of this behavior, but on behalf of my campaign, I apologize for it unreservedly. Okay. I've made it absolutely clear to my campaign that this behavior or anything approximating it or in that spirit is unacceptable, cannot happen again.
Now, I know, I get it. That's just a normal response, nothing to get out of it. Something about that gave me the vibes they distributed the pins so that when Mark Carney comes back, they're talking about the pins. Because it's so easy to just denounce it. And then I know what you're going to say. Well, the person's going to do 4 years in jail and 45. They're not going to get caught with this. No one is in trouble for this whatsoever. The Liberal Party is the one in charge of getting this person in trouble, so it's not going to happen. Suspicion tells me that they did this to control the questions today, because this is going to be gone tomorrow. Okay, folks, comment down below. Maybe that cracked a window for you. Did a Liberal plant pins at a Conservative event to control the Monday narrative? And lastly, everybody, on today's top story. That's right, folks. On today's top story, Pierre is asked a question about the Palestine protests.
On the issue of disorder and chaos, there's been plenty of it in Montreal in the past year and a half from anti-Israel protesters, including recently at Cavendish Mall, where the protesters were able to stay for 2 hours. Police claimed that they couldn't eject them because they hadn't committed a crime, even though there are criminal code provisions that enable them to do so. What would a polyamorous government do to encourage the enforcement of the criminal code in such situations?
Thank you very much. After the lost Liberal decade of crime and chaos and breakdown in our society, we can't afford a fourth Liberal term. We need a change to bring law and order and respect. I want to condemn, first of all, the Liberal approach of dividing Canadians. We see Mr. Carney playing Justin Trudeau's trick of saying one thing to one group and exactly the opposite to another, inflaming sides to cause division while refusing to enforce the law. That will end when I'm Prime Minister. I will say the same thing to everyone, everywhere. And I will stand up for the right of Jewish Canadians to proudly live their lives, practice their faith, and enjoy their freedom. That includes wearing a Star of David, a kippah, or having a mezuzah on the door, and doing all of those things in total security. How? Well, we'll be bringing in tougher laws that crack down on hate-based vandalism, on violence and targeted at places of worship. We will bring in more security for places of worship. And we will deport from Canada anyone here on a visitor visa who carries out any crime. And we will prioritize the deportation of those who carry out hate crimes and violence on our streets. Those who are permanent or citizens who do those things, they will go to jail. And they will also, on top of that, there will be massive, crippling financial penalties for hate-based vandalism. And I can assure you they will be penalties that are so massive that there will never be, again, some punk thinking even once about throwing a Molotov cocktail into a Jewish business or firing at a Jewish school. They will pay a severe price for that. My message to the Jewish community, change is coming, and that change will mean you feel safe, you feel respected, you feel at home again in Canada. Thank you.
Folks, in my opinion, when it comes to foreign nationals, I think the PPC owned that one. I'm not going to trust the Conservatives to end these problems. Maybe the Palestine problems. I don't know about the Khalistan problems. Pierre seems to not want to touch India, just like Mark doesn't want to touch China. So I'm starting to fall into that boat, guys. After the election, hopefully Pierre wins. We want Pierre to win. And then I will start scrutinizing Pierre, I think. Because Pierre's not perfect, folks. He's not here to give us everything we want. He's here to take us away from net zero. And I think that's about as good as we get. I'm Parmer John. I'll see you guys on the next one.